talking about you're not an imposter, you're an outlier. And for those who don't know, who are the outliers? They're the ones that have chosen not to follow the pack. And outliers have big dreams and unconventional approaches. So, think about it. If you have started a new career in tech after having a career in another industry, that is really taking an unconventional approach to doing something. So, going from being an educator to taking a boot camp, and now graduating as a software engineer, that's a real different approach, and you should applaud yourself for thinking outside the box. And if you're graduating from computer science, think of how many women, particularly women of color, are in computer science, getting computer science degrees. So you're taking an unconventional approach. Outliers are people who stand out from others for their individual accomplishments. And what that means is that you don't sit there and think about, this person's better at coding than I am, or this person, it looks like they have it all together on social media and their career is going great. You have to just applaud your own personal accomplishments. And if you have any questions, please put them in chat so I know. So I have 5 tips for being an outlier and owning it. The first is find your own definition of success. Everyone has their own understanding of success, but what's your definition? Look for the patterns in your professional and personal successes. And what that means is, like, what are you doing that's really that you could applaud daily? Whether it's something simple as, after I finish work, I just started working on my passion project, or I'm just taking another course because I want to learn about machine learning. Those are successes that you should be just applauding constantly. Okay. The second is cultivate intellectual humility. And what that means is keep a healthy perspective about success and failure. I think especially society, we grew up thinking that success and failure, it's very black and white, right? So it's polarized, but it's not that's not the case. What one person may see as success, another sees as failure, and vice versa. So you have to keep a healthy perspective and look at it from a learning place. Like, what have I learned from either something I thought was successful or I thought was a failure? And why do I think that? And why am I labeling it failure? And embrace not knowing everything. We can't know everything. So what do you know? What are you capable of just being able to talk about in 5 minutes, or 10 minutes? Always say, like, what can you give a TED talk about? And so think about that. Focus on what you do know, but don't think you have to know everything. And also be curious, ask questions. Don't think that you have to know everything. Asking questions is really how you are able to move ahead, asking questions. And sometimes we don't want to ask questions as women because we don't want, especially if we're part of a team, for them to think, oh my gosh, she doesn't know this. And, so now I'm letting my team know that I'm not as knowledgeable. It's okay to ask questions. It's better to ask questions than to make a mistake. And then now they see, oh, well, why didn't she just ask? The other one is when I talked about earlier, your passion project. Let your passion project shine. If you're going, now that we are going back out in public, or even if you're online, introduce yourself with a passion project. So a self-introduction with a cool project gives you social proof. So instead of saying, hi, I'm Marie Roker-Jones, co-founder of Essteem, I could say, hi, I'm Marie Roker-Jones. I love organizing hackathons for women because it gives them an opportunity to upskill and really showcase their potential. So you get your enthusiasm when you talk about your passion project. And showcase your skills through storytelling. No one can tell our story the way we can. And you have to be able to know, what is my story? And the best way to tell your story is through something you care about, something that you are putting time, effort into. And passion projects have a personal touch. They show off your personality. So for me, when I talk about how much I love organizing hackathons, I get excited about it because the participants make me excited, and I want to see them do well, and I love to see, the solutions they build. So just want to make sure no one has any questions. The next is incorporate systems of accountability into your life. It's easier when we have systems in place. We set goals, or we say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to write it out. But if you don't have a system in place, it's more difficult to set those goals. So incorporate these systems of accountability, whether that's having, I know someone who has hype docs, and actually she does such a great job with having these hype pods, and they're supposed to hype you up. So think about that. Who's your accountability partner? Who in your life can get you thinking about, okay, this is what you're going to do, stick to it. And it helps you to be better equipped to tackle each day with a new confidence, right? Because you say, okay, my system's in place. I know what I need for today. I know what I'm trying to do. The other thing is strive for progress and not perfection. Too often there's this pressure to be perfect. And a lot of times it's the pressure that we put on ourselves, that we now think that it's others that are putting it on us. So we project some of that insecurity into this idea of perfection. But think about, what's the progress? What have I done so far? Not have I done it so well that it's perfect. And I know that coding, it requires that and everything is in place, but think about it. It's more about the progress to get there than to say, I am such a perfect coder. You're not going to be here all the time. And I know not everyone here is a software engineer, but you have to think of it in those terms. No matter what it is, what you're trying to solve, it's all about the progress. And also monitor and measure that progress. When you do that, you're in a better position to see the growth. You're in a better position to see how much more you're doing and how well you're doing. And the last is find a niche where you can stand out. And what that means is highlight what sets you apart from others. So if you are a great data analyst and there's a particular niche where you excel, highlight that. Make yourself stand out in that area. You don't have to, again, going back to the second one, you don't have to know everything and be great at everything. But if you can find a niche where you can stand out and really start to show how knowledgeable you are, then that really helps you show yourself as an outlier. Share that knowledge with others. So, if you, again, when you know something and you can give that 10-minute TED talk about it, share that knowledge with others, because you don't know who else benefit from hearing from what you know and how you can help them in their personal and professional growth. And I would also say, keep learning. There's no stop to learning. We're always constantly learning. We're always constantly reading about stuff. So keep learning. Stay curious, as I mentioned before, and asking questions, but keep learning. Find those opportunities. There are so many free resources. If you can't find them, find me. I'm the resource queen, and I will help you find a resource. And lastly, I want to say, you got this. When you're feeling like an imposter, remember that it's time to celebrate your success. I know that if you were to sit down and write down all the things that you have accomplished, you would, shock yourself to realize, wow, I forgot about this and I forgot about that. Think about those, celebrate those, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I don't belong here. Oh my God, I feel like a fake. I feel like a failure. Think about the things that you have done. And if somebody's, let's say your manager or your teammate, someone says to you something that really offends or maybe hurts you because you feel like you let them down, focus on the times that you have come through, the times that you've really been a team member, the time that you have excelled, because we're not, again, we're not perfect. So there'll be times we don't do things the right way, but that's okay. In mind that there's going to be good days and bad days, but focus on the days that you've done things right, so that when you have those bad days, you can go back and say, you know what, today maybe I wasn't my best, and that's okay, because there's days I have been my best, like this day, that day, and write it out if you have to. And the times when you feel, are the moments that you have shattered records, you've broken down barriers, or inspired others. Think about that. It's the times where you felt like, I can't do this, and you've pushed through, you've done it, and proven for yourself and others how, and I'm going to say how dope you are, how just great you are. That is what's important. And so your biggest successes in life have been your greatest moments of vulnerability. And that is so true. Like, the times that I have been the most successful have been the times where I have really shown how vulnerable I am, how much it hurts, and what I don't know, or what mistakes I've made. I think we don't embrace vulnerability enough. And as women, we have to, because it's in those vulnerabilities that we have those breakthroughs. It's through vulnerability that we realize who we are. And it helps to humble us, and helps us to remember that we're human, and to give ourselves some grace. So I also wanted to see if anyone had questions. This is your time. I'm just so hot in New York. So, but I want you to know that it's, imposter syndrome. I really want us to change that narrative as women, particularly women of color, that we change this narrative, because it is really the tech industry gaslighting us to have us believe that we're imposters and we don't belong there. And the truth is, if you are in the same space as other people, you earn the right to be there. And you remember that. And even if you're sending out resumes and you're not getting callbacks, or you feel like, oh my gosh, why did I just waste my time? I feel like no one's gonna respond. You're gonna get a response, and you're gonna find your place. And when you do, you've earned the right to be there. So don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't be there, because you've earned the right just like anyone else. So keep that in mind, and start living up to that outlier persona. And if it takes every day, reminding yourself or hyping yourself up, then do that, because it's up to you, and it's up to us as women to really change the narrative. No one's going to change it for us. So if we want to stop this idea of imposter syndrome is what's holding us back, imposter syndrome is what's, overwhelming us, then we have to come together. And that also means supporting each other. So being in a place of leadership, being a team member, we have to remember that it takes a group of us to make change. So we have to really support each other. So I really want to hear about more women coming together to embrace and help support other women that are coming through. And if there's anything that I, can help with, please reach out. And I'm happy to share my network if I can, share a word of inspiration if I can. I'm going to put my email in chat, so that everyone can get it. So if you want a copy of, like I said, the presentation, oh yeah, I will give you my LinkedIn. And thank you for the kind words. This has been so helpful for me too. Like, I feel like I love the energy, especially for this conference. It's great to see other women and allies come together and really support each other. So let's keep this up. This doesn't have to be just during conferences. We can do this all the time. So I want us to cheer each other up, our women. I want us to change that narrative, and I want us to remember to be outliers, and that, again, we take unconventional approaches to things, and it's not always going to be So black and white or perfect. So I know I have 3 minutes. If anyone has questions, if there's anything I can, oh, which link did I give you that's broken? Is it the LinkedIn? Okay. Why is that broken? Hold on. I'm just gonna check. Shouldn't be. Just, oh wait, what did it say? Just a little miss. Oh, I see. I missed. Okay. Thank you. Um, thank you so much. And again, just today, when you in other sessions, just keep remembering and telling yourself, I'm an outlier. I'm an outlier. I got this. I can do this. And if not, I am going to put together a group and systems of accountability for myself so that I can feel that I am moving towards being an outlier. And uh, yes, I'm happy to connect with you too. I'm happy to connect with anyone and again, just chat. I do that when I can. And also invite you all. We do equalathons. We have our hackathons monthly, and they're a great way for you to upskill and give back because we help you. We help nonprofits build solutions. So it's always awesome. And that's it. You know, I thank you for coming. I thank you for spending this time with me. It's been awesome. And again, I know I have 1 minute, so I just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to just, if you wanted to come up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I will see you around. Enjoy the rest of your day, everyone, and take care.